Hello friends, this video on alternating currents part 4 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 3 before going ahead with this part. So now let us talk about the power associated with a resistor. So that means we will look at what would be the average power consumed by a resistor in this AC circuit. Like whether it is zero like that of current or voltage, or it is some non-zero value. Well, when I talk about power, we saw that in one complete cycle, the average current is zero. So does that mean that the average power will also be zero? Because we know that power is nothing but the product of current and voltage, right? So from our previous lessons, we know that power is nothing but VI, that is voltage multiplied by current. So if I say that the average current in one complete cycle is zero, average power in one complete cycle is zero, so would that mean that the average power over one complete cycle would also be zero? Some of you might think yes, but actually it is no. The average power over one complete cycle would be non-zero. That's because when I talk about power consumption, what I am talking about is not just this formula. I am talking about power dissipation in the form of heat. So whenever we talk about power dissipation, we talk about Joule heating, right? And what is Joule heating? Joule heating is nothing but given by I squared R. So that means your Joule heating is dependent not only on I, it is dependent on I square. Now, if you think of I square is always positive. It doesn't matter whether I is positive or negative. Now, in this case, when we spoke about one complete cycle, for me, one cycle was like this, right? So the average current over one cycle was zero because the half of the cycle it was positive and the remaining half it was negative. So they cancelled out and the average current came out to be zero. But when I'm talking about power dissipation, I am talking about Joule heating. So I am talking about I square. So I square will be positive here. I square will be positive for this also, right? So that means power consumed will be non-zero. Therefore, Joule heating will occur and there is some power dissipation, or there will be an average power consumed by a pure resistive circuit. So now here our purpose is to calculate how much power would be consumed by a pure resistive circuit. So that is what we will do now. So let us first talk about instantaneous values, because from instantaneous values only we can calculate average values. So now what is the instantaneous voltage? I mean the applied voltage to the circuit. That was nothing but Vm sine omega t. What was the current produced because of this voltage? That was nothing but Im sine omega t. So now let us calculate the instantaneous power. Let me denote instantaneous power as a small p. So instantaneous power would be nothing but instantaneous voltage multiplied by instantaneous current. So that would be equal to Vm sine omega t into Im sine omega t, right? So this would be Vm Im sine square omega t. So this is my instantaneous power. Now I want to calculate my average power. So how do I calculate average power? Let me denote average power with a capital P. So average power would be nothing but, what is average power? It is nothing but the integration of instantaneous power over one complete cycle. That means let us suppose I have to integrate this power. This power represents the instantaneous value. That means the value of power at any one instant. So I want to integrate this over this entire cycle. That means I want to integrate it over one time period. So what I will do? I will integrate this instantaneous power in dt from 0 to the time period capital T, and I will divide it by T because it is average power. right? So average of any quantity, what is the average? It means the sum of all the values divided by the number of values. So here also I am doing the same thing. I am calculating the total power from here till here. So the total power would be the sum of the instantaneous power. So that sum of the instantaneous power is nothing but integration of p dt from 0 to t. So this represents the total power from this point to this point divided by capital T. That is the time period which I am considering, right? So this is the total value and this represents the number of values. I hope it is clear. Okay. So now putting into this, I can write as 1 by t integration of Vm Im sine square omega t dt from 0 to capital T. So this comes out to be Vm Im divided by capital T integration of sine square omega t dt from 0 to t. So now we will use trigonometry formula. So in your trigonometry you would have studied 1 minus cos 2 theta is equal to sine square theta. So here you have sine square theta, so I can replace it with 1 minus cos 2 theta. So this we can write it as Vm into Im. I'm sorry, it is 1 minus cos 2 theta is equal to 2 sine square theta, right? So this would be 1 minus cos 2 omega t divided by 2. So this would be Vm Im divided by 2t integration of 1 minus cos 2 omega t dt from 0 to capital T. So this comes out to be Vm Im divided by 2t into integration of dt would be t. So this is t minus integration of cos 2 omega t would be sine 2 omega t divided by 2 omega from 0 to capital T. So this comes out to be Vm Im divided by 2t into t minus sine 2 omega t divided by 2 omega. So this can again be written as Vm Im divided by 2t t minus sine 2 omega into this capital T is nothing but we know the relationship between angular velocity, which is nothing, angular frequency, which is equal to 2 pi nu, where nu is the linear frequency, and linear frequency is nothing but 1 upon time period. So that means omega is equal to 2 pi by t. We already know all these things, right? So we can write, instead of t, we can write it as 2 pi divided by omega. So this divided by 2 omega, so this omega will get cancelled. So we can write it as Vm Im divided by 2t into t minus, you are left with sine 4 pi divided by 2 omega. Now what is the value of sine 4 pi? Sine 4 pi is equal to 0. So you are left with Vm Im divided by 2t into t. So t will get cancelled. Therefore the average power comes out to be Vm Im divided by 2. So this, if you want to write it in, since we are talking about power dissipation, you can write it in terms of I square R. So we can write it as, instead of Vm, we can write it as Im into R. So we can write it as half Im square R. Therefore we get the average power in one complete cycle is half Im square into R. So this is the average power consumed in one complete cycle in a pure resistive circuit. So now, if you compare this expression with the expression of power in case of DC, what is the expression of power in case of DC? It is P is equal to I square R. So here you have an extra factor of half. So it resulted in a and in kind of inconvenience, you can say, because both are current, right? Both are flow of electrons. So it would be better, or it would have been convenient if things are consistent in AC and DC. At least the expressions are consistent in AC and DC. Because power consumption is something which is a kind of measurement in our day-to-day life, like the power supply which comes to your houses, that will have some measurement of power, right? So if you use the same convention, or if you use the same formula or same kind of formula for both AC and DC, that would make things simpler as well as better. So people thought that it would be better if we represent power in AC in the same form as we do it in DC. So for that, what they did, they replaced with, right now the power is in terms of peak value of current, right? So what they did, they defined a new value of current for alternating current. That means till now we had something called instantaneous current, that is the value of current at each instant. We had something called peak value of current, that is the maximum value that current can take. So now they introduced a third kind of value that was called root mean square current. So root mean square current was a different way of finding out an average value of an alternating current. Right? It was just one way. You would have studied about root mean square values in your statistics, right? So it was just one way to calculate an average value of an alternating current. So instead of this peak value here, they replaced this peak value with root mean square value of current, just to make the expression of power consistent with the expression of power which we use in case of direct current. So what they did, they introduced a new value of current, that was RMS value of current, and they said that power is equal to I RMS square into R. So now this expression looks consistent or similar to the expression which you see in case of your direct current, right? So now DC and AC expressions are consistent, but for that what was done was a new value of current was introduced. As I told you before also, like in direct current, there is no headache or no tension of thinking that how can we find the value of current, because the magnitude of current is same everywhere throughout. But in case of alternating current, since the magnitude is changing at every instant, therefore there are different values of current which characterize different things. So now we have something called instantaneous current that will tell the value of current or the magnitude of current at a particular instant. We have something called peak value of current, which will tell the maximum value of current till where it can go. There is something called RMS current. So RMS current is a way, or it is a statistical way of finding out an average value of an alternating current. So we will talk about RMS current and RMS voltages in detail in the next few slides. So this was the point where RMS current and RMS voltage was introduced. Now you will, after we study about RMS current and RMS voltage, you will get to know certain interesting facts about RMS currents and voltages, right? So now let us go ahead and spend some time and few slides on understanding RMS voltages and RMS current. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.